Happy Monday!
Happy Monday, everyone. What do we got going on today?
We're going to be talking about our column tank, or I call it the tower tank sometimes, the 15-gallon that we have in the kitchen.
So the 15-gallon tall was something we set up a few months ago, and we've had a little bit more experience with it. Wanted to share with you some updates, not only of the tank itself and some of the things that we've found, but also we've made some changes, minor changes, to the livestock. So what have we done in terms of the fish?
Well, somebody had to move out. The besties had a little bit of an issue, which we kind of expected would come, because usually a gourami and a betta are not very friendly. They were friendly for a while, but then it didn't work out so well, so somebody had to go. So the gourami got his walk-in papers.
Yep, so if you went to the original video, and I'll put that in the upper right hand corner as well as in the description below, but we had a couple of honey gouramis in with the betta, and we said at the time that this may or may not work. It depends. I always stress, have a backup plan just in case the fish you add to a tank don't necessarily get along well together. Well, in this case, it started to work. It was fine at the beginning. The betta tended to be the more aggressive one, and then one day the honey gourami decided, you know what, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster, and I know Kung Fu. And so this poor gourami started to take his frustrations out on the betta. As soon as we recognized the tide was turning and the betta had those beautiful long flowing fins, we removed the gourami and put it actually in the 125 right across from us. So he's got a nice large tank with the angelfish. And now the betta is much happier. The gourami is much happier as well. You also added some fish.
So we added a few more of the gold tetras, which are beautiful.
Yeah, those are very interesting fish. I'd never actually seen them until we added them to this tank, and they are really cool. So the smaller ones that you see in the tank are the ones that we more recently added, and the larger ones were in there. We also have some ember tetras in there that are really cool. I like the dynamic. By the way, if you're interested in nano fish and a place to purchase them online, one of our channel sponsors, Flip Aquatics, sells the smaller fish for these smaller tanks. So check them out. Thank you very much for their sponsorship. We'll put their website in the description below.
Fun fact, I believe Flip Aquatics, when we were there, was the first time that I had ever seen ember tetras. And they're so cute and tiny. I said someday I want them, and now I have them.
And now we do. So a little bit about the tank. You know, the light on that tank is perfectly capable of growing low light plants like the Anubias we have, probably crypts, Java moss, Java fern, would probably grow pretty well in there. One of the downsides is that filter. We knew it was going to be an issue when we set up the tank. I have no idea why a company would sell a 25-inch tall tank with a filter that has about a 4-inch intake, and that has been a problem. And the problem that you're experiencing is what?
Well, it's like you clean the tank, and then one day later, it's all dirty at the bottom. That's okay.
So one of the things that we've thought about doing is extending that intake, but when you do that, the tank isn't going to look as nice. It's going to look far more cluttered with a big, long intake shooting along the back side. So we still have to figure that out. Right now we're dealing with it just by sucking up whatever settles on the bottom on that sand to kind of deal with that. But that is definitely a downside of this tank. The filter that comes with it in that kit is really not sufficient for the tank.
Do you know what I actually do to make it look good afterwards? I siphon it, I fill it back up, and then I siphon it again just to get it. And then looks good.
Well, I'm glad that's working for you.
The one problem I do have with the tank is tweaking. For those of us who like to tweak the scape, fix a plant, fix a rock, maybe a plant comes unglued, good luck. Now I'd like to think that I have long arms.
You do have long arms.
But still challenging to get to the very bottom. So that's why I probably personally would not have planted plants into the substrate, because invariably they do come out and you have to chase them around, stick them back in. That would be very difficult. Yeah, I'd have to do some serious acrobatics on the counter.
All right, everyone, so that's a quick update on the 15-gallon column tank, and we'll probably do some more updates as we go if we change anything, if we discover anything new about the tank. And if you've used this tank before, I'd love to hear from you. What are your opinions of it? Appreciate you being here.
Have a good week.